Buttons have been pressed and the game has begun. In the top right-hand corner, let's make some Twitch chat noise, shall we? For our Blue Protoss player, herO. Taking on our Red Terran in the bottom left corner of the map. This is Ryung. Alright, so Ryung herO, TVP action. Altitude for the first map. Feels like some Terrans veto this, some Terrans kind of like it. I think the Terrans that like it are the ones that like dropping a bit more, don't mind a longer game, but want to be able to harass into that longer game. Some of the Terrans veto it where they just want to be able to play the faster pushes by ground, the faster kind of initial setups and so on, 2-base pushes. It's kind of cool in that regard, because I don't think it's necessarily bad or good for in TVP for one race or the other. It's very much so a preference thing, and kind of cool that we have a map pool that can allow players to kind of play their preferred maps, or like, you know, rather than like having maps where it's like, nope, those are my 2 instant vetoes every time, like TVZ is right now. It's kind of cool that TVP has the variety of matchups and maps in comparison, so that's pretty neat, I guess. Nexus on the way on the natural, Cybercore building on the front. And we do have our orbital command about to finish up from Ryung in the main base. Again, that orbital completed. Command center down on the natural as well. Get all of this set to go. Nothing surprising in the first few moments. Our factory will drop down in the main base as well. Going to give us the natural follow-up here. And in the first couple of minutes of me chitter-chattering, this probe took some damage while scouting out the command center. Obviously, this is a Marine or Reaper becoming more and more popular again to bypass the Reaper in early game TVP and instead to go for the Marine opening instead. As this probe comes around, SCV gets nibbled at. Now this probe is stuck. I don't think it gets away from this Marine. Obviously, the probe will try and dance around the command center to get the leg up on the Marine. As that's kind of doomed. Oh, Marine actually didn't take the shortcut back across. Oh my god, now the Adept's about to arrive. Well, the probe survived as long as it could. Now the single Marine on this low ground is in some trouble. Sorry. There we go. A Marine goes down, and, well, obviously on top of that, we can kill some SCVs. We've already killed one. Gonna try and kill another, although we did get to finish the command center, which is nice. Obviously, wouldn't have been too surprised if the command center had been delayed there with the SCV going down, but yeah, command center actually gets to finish, so decent job of buying a bit of time as Ryung. And now he can give. I mean, the biggest issue is he can't morph the orbital in because the SCV is inside of the command center. Command center can't morph in until that orbital, until it's empty because an orbital can't hold SCVs. So, you know, when you pack in so much energy and scans and mules into the orbitals, it just can't hold SCVs anymore, so it loses that ability to put them in. Turns out whacking a big turret on top and making a planetary fortress, SCVs fit in just fine. Whacking energy-producing things like scans and mules in, no room for SCVs. Kind of an interesting choice, that, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it feels like it would be natural if just orbitals, planetaries, command centers could all load SCVs. But then I guess, how do you load SCVs when the energy bar replaces the units inside bar? Oh, even there's a reason. Quite a few Adepts, honestly. 4 Adepts at the frontier from herO. That's a lot more than what you'd usually expect. 4 Adepts is a big investment, honestly. As our 3 will come Brandon and Shade back forward. It's Phoenix on the follow-up as well, as we do see a Hellion from Ryung. Would love to get some information. Obviously, he's been playing completely blind. This is his first scout of the game, and he sees the Nexus going down. And he also sees a probe potential to be killed. He missed the first shot, but the Phoenix was there soon enough that it wouldn't have made the difference anyways. That probe was going to live. And the Hellion goes down, obviously confirming the Phoenix too, so that's additionally good information. Not only have you seen the 3rd Nexus, you also see Phoenix, so despite the late scout, Ryung is now fully aware of what's going on and can 100% play around his opponent's build style now. Cyclone gets the lock on to push the few Phoenix away for a few moments. Pushing them up the left-hand side, and these Phoenix will turn back around the bottom. And we grab ourselves an SCV built in the gas. Obviously, it is, again, annoying with these SCVs. Keeping them alive against Phoenix is not easily done. Phoenix are such a frustrating unit to play against a lot of the time. for that kind of reason. Back around the left, we will grab a couple of SCVs already, so getting rid of one, getting rid of two. Just gonna go kind of hide in the corner for a few moments. This charge starts up on the Twilight Council. That +1 attack about halfway done. Ooh, those Phoenix a little bit trapped. We lose one. The second one is very low HP, and that's why he's trying to stack them up, because the Cyclone lock on. He actually tries to... Oh, no, the Marines are still here, actually. These Marines could have maybe got a grab. He has to stay now to try and get it. He is just going to get one more. Oh, my God, he nearly got the other one, too. That's massive for Ryung, killing a bunch of the Phoenix already. We're trying to go into charge as well. I mean, Phoenix charge without the Phoenix is very much so just like opening charge, and then Zealots can only do so much on their own without the support of the Phoenix to take a couple of the important units out of the way. Oh, this could get very interesting. Mindevex down to the corner. They are going to now move up this right-hand side. There's a chunk of Phoenix here, all 5 of them, ready to come and maybe catch these Medivacs, but they don't catch them yet, and Ryung gets to continue up that right side of the map. He's also pushing the left with the Cyclone and the rest of the units, so going to force a bit of a split. There's not really anything in the main. The fact that these Phoenix just moved the wrong way is horrible. Now we're going to begin to unload, and uh-oh. This is a problem, no? Is that a slow warp in? Oh my God, it's warping in off the pylon that's not close enough to the Nexus, so those Zealots warp in so slowly. Well, the thing is, I actually was going to say that Ryung just, that herO pulled everything over here to deal with this, but actually, yeah, it didn't matter because Ryung wasn't on the left-hand side anymore, so this is actually going to be pretty okay for herO. I thought that was going to be horrible. I mean, he loses 7 workers, which isn't ideal, and he's actually got 1 Marine that's still apparently killing some probes. We'll move forward with the probes and get rid of that Marine now, but I guess not ideal as the few Zealots continue to charge. A couple Marines here and get hunted down, killed off as well. Counterattack from herO. I mean, you gotta be careful as well. Oh, the Widowmines on burrow to make sure the Phoenix don't cause friendly fire. Well, suddenly this is just Zealots charging into a natural that has SimCity. The Widowmines get good splash on the Zealots too, and the Sentries were too far behind to utilize anything there. And herO, after this attack, just taps GG. He lost, well, all of his Phoenix again. He didn't really have much tech behind this. And this attack was also moments before +1 armor. I gotta say that was just a pretty uninspiring attack from herO. And I mean, if it could go very differently. If the Widowmines do splash onto the Terran units, then maybe you really do just run away with it there. But obviously, if that doesn't happen, then it looked very sad for herO. As we go into game number 2. Down a map in the top left-hand corner, the blue Protoss player, herO. Bottom left, red Terran is going to be Ryung. Bottom right, red Terran. Ryung Gresvan, let's see if Ryung can keep the magic going. As, yeah, herO really choosing that attack into the natural was not pretty, right? Just was not what it needed to be. Not really deliver very well. And I gotta say, today's passed very quickly, guys. I know we're coming up to about 6 hours on the stream, 6 hours of casting, but it really feels like today's just been quick, and it's just because we've had really good matches, and it's just been a good vibe today. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, we've got World Team League, WardiTV Winter Championship action all week long up until Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we've got you guys WardiTV Korean Royale, WardiTV StarCraft to keep your StarCraft needs sated throughout the week. Let's see if you have Ryung. We'll move across the map to go and scout. Reaper on the way, Nexus coming up, Cybercore is on the way as well, going to be finishing in just a couple of moments. Hope getting started. Depth Corona boosting. We do have an SCV, obviously has scouted, and it's going to be replaced now by the Reaper. I just mentioned last game we don't see the Reaper too much nowadays, and we're all going to get to see it here at least for game number 2. So Reaper out to the left will be able to hop up into the natural. There's that one adept that's just going to stop it from coming in this direction. That's a very well placed adept, by the way. I guess when you've got the wall off over here, and you're not worried about the Reaper getting into the base here, this is the kind of the position to protect. If you don't expect him to run in directly through the front. So actually, yeah, like I say, cool position. If Ryung just hops to the high ground, he would get the scout on this Twilight Council. Obviously, walling this off with the pylon means that the pylon is here to build the Twilight as well. So the Twilight is pretty much always going to be seen. Yeah, it's only when you can kind of go gate cyber wall without the pylon, and then the pylon's like over here, then you can hide the tech from the Reaper jump up. So on this map it doesn't work too well. So that or you put the tech on the low ground, which is obviously terrible because you have a pylon down here. You need a pylon down here for a battery sometimes. That would obviously be very bad as well. So yes, Ryung should be able to scout the tech here if he just jumps up. Obviously, maybe he doesn't need to see it super early on, but as the Cyclone finishes, he would like to know whether it's worth building an extra Cyclone, for example, I'd imagine, and just knowing exactly what he wants to do. He's still not going to jump up to the high ground, though. I feel like that's an easy spot, but yeah, not even like entertaining the idea is intriguing to me. Like, not even just going up and down just quickly, because it feels like such an easy thing to just check, just in case the tech is there, which 9 times out of 10 it will be, right? Instead, this Reaper is going to end up seeing absolutely nothing really of value at all. I mean, we saw the gateway at the front. And did he see the robo? I don't think he saw the robo, right? Oh no, he did see the robo too, so maybe he can actually get a decent tell from the robo timing. That's too early of a robo to match up with a Stargate, I guess. So maybe the robo is good enough scouting for Ryung. And I guess he also saw the units as well, right? So you see one adept into Stalkers. Pretty good indicator that it's also probably a Twilight Council and probably then hence Blink as well. So yeah, probably just doesn't need it. Just feels like you could have jumped up and seen, but then I guess you see everything else to kind of put the pieces together anyways. Robo Bay, this double gas in the natural herO, has been kind of fond of going Blink into a 2 base. Well, earlier it was, I thought it was going to be Colossus, then he actually built Observer Speed, and he built Disruptors. Let's see if he does something even remotely similar here, because it's kind of the same setup otherwise. Yeah, because usually I would call Colossus, and I called Colossus in the game earlier he played against Clem when he did this, but then that's just not what he did, so I don't know, herO. Let's see what the plan is. It's a Disruptor. Okay, does he actually build Observer Speed, though? That would be really wild if he did it again. Maybe obviously this was played after the Clem game, but it would be, that would be really crazy if he did it a second time. That was actually the plan. I don't know, man. Observer Speed was interesting. By the way, maybe worth mentioning as well, if you guys were here early in the stream, I was talking about missing a player, and it was herO that I was missing. herO played his first match, and then just disappeared for like half an hour. Like, and not just for half an hour, because it was like, obviously the Ryung solo series was very long, so it was like a long time between herO and Clem finishing and Ryung solo being done, and then after that he was missing for like 25 minutes. Once this match was ready to start, and he was literally like a minute away from being disqualified in the lower bracket, and he showed up. So if you were here earlier, I was talking about that. It was herO that went missing a little bit. I never really found out why. I think maybe he just didn't realize the lower bracket was today, even though it was in the message I sent him. So anyways, he got here. He's here to play the match, so it wasn't that big a deal. Just at the time, I was stressed out trying to find him while casting. Anyways, we do have the couple Marauders here getting some Stalker damage. Oh, the Disruptor comes in from the left side, actually catching a bunch of this Bio. Nice little catch. The Stalker's going to go in after the Bio Force here as well. And actually just going to be herO chasing Ryung down a little bit as we move forward. Trying to get a medevac already, working his way through some of these Marauders. Good trade so far from herO, and Ryung is getting to the point where he's got the Marauders to obviously chase these Stalkers back in a big way. Just needs to stay split away from the Disruptors, stay out of trouble there. Disruptor shot just goes for the Widow Mine. One adept in the back of the natural doesn't really do much. But either side is, yeah, Ryung kind of going on the defensive slightly. Obviously, herO behind this already has the third base. And yeah, just still going Disruptors, man. Just Stalker Disruptor. It's so funny because Stalker Disruptor is usually something you do late in the game where it's kind of like, crap, I don't have a good chance to rebuild other units. And he's got a ton of Ghosts and stuff and Vikings. Like, let's just go Stalker Disruptor and play this mobile game and hope to hit some Disruptor shots. hero's almost choosing to play this right away. It's a very high variance style because obviously, you know, it's not like Colossi where Colossi, if they're in a fight, are very likely to do a set amount of damage no matter what. Stalker Disruptor is like, Disruptor's either going to hit or they're not, right? Like, there's a big difference in the damage to be done there. As we do have, sorry, the Widow Mine drop, getting 8 probes on the other side. So herO taking some losses, is going to struggle a little bit on economy, with Ryung having a good portion of his army suddenly out on the map. And herO maybe trying to look around for that. He could dive into this natural if he realizes there's not enough units here. The Widow Mines will try and slow down the process of that attack in. I'm going to drop into the main base, and oh, that recall was sweet, huh? This Observer on the side giving you the little heads up, recalling back and getting the blink for 2 medevacs and most of the units that were in them. That's a pretty nasty blink for Ryung, and Ryung actually loses a lot. herO behind on upgrades too, by the way, with this style. So Stalker Disrupt, I mean, to be fair, doesn't care so much about upgrades usually, because Disruptors don't care about upgrades when killing things, but it is worth noting because the worse the upgrades get, the more easy it is just to collapse and instantly delete this army, it feels like. If we get to that stage, obviously, like I said, Ryung just lost a lot. He is bringing the other medevacs from that drop back home, so herO is okay for now to focus on this push forward. This Widow Mine goes down without doing anything. The base is in some trouble here. No units nearby for Ryung. Just going to start shooting this down. No, we're shooting some SCVs. That base is not taking any damage at all just yet. Finally, we're going to start shooting it. Man, I feel like every single Stalker shot at one SCV 3 times in a row. 9 SCVs do fall, as we have a couple of libs trying to siege up. Disruptor shot fires through. And we do connect on another Marauder. Stalker still coming in, blinking forward now. Gonna land on the bio, and I think just too much from herO. Ryung does not have enough to stay alive in this. And this looks as though we're gonna get ourselves a game 3 of the series, even without the upgrades. Like I say, Disruptors don't care about no upgrades, man. They really don't. More Disruptor shot. Obviously, Zealots have charge now as well. So actually flipping through with Zealots following this up is fantastic as well. It looks as though that will be good enough to GG. And that is going to be herO taking a game 2, tying it up, and taking us to 3 of the series. In the bottom right corner, our Blue Protoss player, herO. Top left, our Red Terran is Ryung. Alright, final map of the day, guys. Thank you so much again for tuning into the WardiTV Winter Championship here on day number 1 of our playoffs. Day 2, same time, same place tomorrow. Day 3 the day after that, and day 4 on Friday. As the barracks goes down on the high ground to start, the gateway gets set up, and away we go. Let's go, Ryung, the Protoss sniper. Man, Ryung is good in TVP, to be fair. Like, dude is pretty darn decent. I've really loved his TVP since not this year's Katowice, but last year's Katowice. I really felt like his TVP there was really fun. Yeah. Very cool as we just have Rex coming up to completion. SCV coming down the low ground. And our Cybernetics core coming up on this main base. Again, that up and running SCV of Ryung going to go across the map. As we get some initial scouting underway. And we wait to see where this game 3 takes us. Obviously, like I say, last game of the day. Like I say, been a great day of games. Yeah, even some of the 2-0s were nice and lengthy. Like, the first half of the day was actually all 2-0s, right? And even then, like, we had some long games in those, so it was... Yeah, it's just, like I say, solid day of StarCraft 2. Couldn't ask for much more, as we do have Factory Reactor all in the way. Obviously, Ryung just establishing in a very normal way for now. opening Marine, so those units come out about 50 gas sooner than if he'd gone for the Reaper. And the Stargate in production for herO as well. So again, that Stargate coming up as we have a probe. Moving to the low ground, and with the Stargates, obviously herO has been showing a good amount of Phoenix play as well. I feel like we've not seen an Oracle actually all day in the Terran versus Protoss matchup, which is impressive because we casted, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our 5th TVP? 6th TVP? I think this is TVP number 6 today. And, yeah. The TVP number 6, the fact that we've got not had an Oracle is pretty incredible. Had to step away. How did Clem solo go? First game was a solid build order loss from Clem. And the second game, solo just kind of actually defended very well early. And just Clem never really was able to take an edge back off of him in a continuous back and forth game there. But back and forth while solo had the initial edge and eventually was able to just rampage through, basically. The Hellion comes down the right-hand side. Heading towards the natural expansion. Some adepts here already. Going to get rid of the Hellion straight away. Just going to knock that down. The robotics facility coming up from herO as well. So getting that robot up and running. As that few adepts continue out into the middle of the map. A couple of assimilers about halfway done. And yeah, our robot coming up. Few adepts going to go shading forward. Going to try and move their way in towards the natural, and while already just walking up here, going to get one SCV. Walking further in here is a little risky just because you've already got your shade on cooldown. But, yeah. Just kind of have a little bit more of a check just to gain a see as to what's going on. Phoenix patrolling off over on the side. Raven coming out as well. Factory moves off that tech lab, and a couple of barracks still on the way in as well, by the way, so. Gonna see that Raven already building. Obviously, our barracks moved over to the tech lab number 1. Okay, that's Stim Stud. The tech lab number 2 will free up after the Raven to go for combat shield. Behind this herO, just Phoenix into the Robo Bay. One Immortal just to be safe in case of a ground attack. Very kind of scripted play from herO in terms of just we've seen this from him before today. It's kind of continuously just similar things from him, game in and game out, which is nothing wrong with that. Just sometimes we know herO for being this kind of really cool, kind of like aggressive player and doing all these fancy things and stuff. This is just a very basic set of games from herO, right? Like he's ping-ponging between the same kind of 2 or 3 strategies. And, yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with that, like I say. Just something worth mentioning, perhaps, as a group of Phoenix here will wander around the left-hand side. I'm going to go moving up into the natural. Just again, obviously, as always, the Phoenix are hunting for some damage to be done. So if you can get rid of a couple of SCVs, if you can slow down that economy of the Terran, even just the slightest of ways, you can do very well for yourself. Viking fires up a shot, and just see our Phoenix bone back. Again, reminder, this is the lower bracket as well, guys. The loser of this is out. Obviously, it would be very wild if we start talking about losing herO in the very first day of the tournament. That would definitely be a shocker, to say the least, as all of the Terran upgrades are about to finish. Ryung, if you would like to, it's about time for him to get aggressive. You know, this is the first time at which he's going to start popping off a little, as our Phoenix produces on the Stargate. Just have those few Phoenix going up overhead. Just going to see our Twilight Council building up. +1 attack coming through. Extended Thermal Lance is also it's on the way up at the moment as well, so. And those Colossi set up, guys. The more Colossi we get, the scarier this army of herO is going to become. Ryung's still not really doing much now, moves forward. Doesn't have a third base or anything to take. He's got a third CC about to finish, so I guess maybe you're just going to start clearing out for that. Yeah. Most likely, I suppose. Cleans out one adept on the right side. It has a lot of units as natural as well, so can maybe just move out with a couple drops of units to try and take some initial pressure as well. Could also be a pretty valid route for Ryung in this game. Bio turning the few Phoenix back around. They go actually down to the center. We join back up with the Colossi and the sentries and everything. Phoenix firing up, a couple of Vikings getting some shots off, and we do have a thing of herO gathering up once again. The charge still on the way through, the Temple Archive still being brought up. A couple of assimilators, the few pylons, all underway at the moment. Pick off one SCV with this Phoenix, and the few Vikings are going to continue to chase the Phoenix down. Is Phoenix Colossus the best PvP strat? It's a very safe PvT strat. It depends what, I mean, obviously herO doesn't have necessary weakness against drops, but it's like a very good way to just play defensively early and to get into a solid mid-game position. It takes away a lot of the Terran's aggressive options, which against certain players is very valuable as well. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best, but it's definitely one of the best. I would say actually at a level below the pro level, I think it's probably one of the best you can do, because it's a little flimsy, opening Phoenix against certain timings, sure. But if you can get past that and really figure out how to just defend and to see the later game a lot of the time, like, boy, are you going to be in a good spot. You're going to have a good time, right? Oh, Ryung gets set up, and he's going to Matrix Colossus in a Disruptor. First Disruptor lands on the tank, and if he gets killed off moments after, obviously herO kind of diving in on this. We do have 1-1 upgrades on the side of Ryung. Already using the Matrix. Might just be time for him to back away as, oh, Colossi try and get some free damage off. The Vikings are going to say, nah, and we do not get the kill. The Super Battery will save the day for the Colossus. Ryung might just be able to sit here for a bit, though. Got that third base, but he's not really got too many SCVs on it, so definitely a possible factor here as we see Ryung just continuing to set up this offense, and we'll see if herO can find a way to break through. Obviously, it's kind of a tough position to attack into. It's not immediately threatening any single base, but you're either attacking through this choke point or up here and through this narrow choke point as well, so there's not like a lot of options defensively against the position. But like I say, the position's pretty inoffensive in the sense that Ryung has to move further forward to really start pressuring a base at all. I imagine that's going to be something he will have to try and do if he really wants to be serious about this. He's making libs now as well, so more libs, more tanks, more units that can siege positions and slowly push this forward into more meaningful space. The hero's going to go before it gets to that point, though. The Disruptors are all stacked up and all their shots are cancelled. The only one not firing wanders forward to do nothing. The Matrix goes down on a Colossus on the right side. We do have a couple hallucinations just to try and make this a bit more chaotic. Well, I feel like every real Colossus is about to die as we see Super Battery popping up, healing some hallucinations. Ryung is actually going to go onto the fake Colossus there for a few moments. Now the Phoenix will be a target. Zelda going to come forward again. herO wants to go with his immediate reinforcements while Ryung hasn't reinforced from across the map. Again, 1-1 upgrades helping Ryung out a lot here, and down a lot of workers means his army supply is up by about 30. And these Colossi are fake, they are not real. As we have the scan, obviously Ryung will be able to see that as well, so he's very aware of that factor. Oh, he actually knocks down these rocks. I don't know if I've ever really seen this on Babylon. Knocking down these rocks so you can't be flanked from the side. Maybe it would have been cool to do that when herO flanked you from the side the first time. Although maybe now herO doesn't have the time to go and clean those rocks up as well, right? I really feel like I've never seen those rocks get knocked down. That's crazy. Alright, here we go. Liberators are set up as well, so some damage from those. The tanks finally getting siege. 4 tanks here. Would like to see them target fire these units over here, specifically the Colossus, just because the Zelds would have enabled some friendly fire. Colossus does go down. The tanks actually getting dropped. The damage output not there from the Phoenix to kill them before more lifts are necessary. And these tanks are going to continue supporting. Some probes went down this time as well as herO's trying to get probes across to the 4th base. We don't have any anti-air though, so the Phoenix are just going to start killing everything. Liberators can't protect themselves very well. And then the medevacs are going to start going down. We're going to build some desperation turrets as Phoenix are going to start picking off siege tanks as well, just as it was looking dire for herO. He's going to start getting so much free value from the Phoenix that you shouldn't have ever found. Missile turrets have to be cancelled, this position has to be given up, and a disaster for herO is diverted away by the Phoenix. Not having any answer. I mean, there's a few Marines finally, some Marines show up again. They just all died during the fight, right? And that's why it got so chaotic. And yo, Zayal saying thank you so much. The 11-month resub on the Prime as our Phoenix got a little bit too adventurous on the top left. Losing one of those immediately is going to be a little bit costly. Wow, what a game 3. It looked as though Ryung was on his way to having it. And obviously it's not good for Ryung that this game goes on because he did not build workers to play a longer game. Okay, his main base is mine now to the point where now the third can saturate anyway, I suppose. But herO has a fourth base, and herO has more probes. And in theory, that means herO should be in a pretty good spot here. Resources lost isn't that far apart, and herO really is just going to keep on mining more than Ryung, so herO getting into a better place again. This game stabilizing in his favor, but he still doesn't have upgrades. Only on 0-0 against 1-1 of the Terrans. That's one thing Ryung can hang on to in some of these upcoming fights, perhaps, to maybe make the difference. Ryung doesn't want to start 2-2 because it's such an investment. He's got to go Armory, probably a second Engineering Bay as well. It's A, going to take a long-ass time, and B, it's very gas-intensive when he's only just gotten the third gases set up. So he can't really afford to continue his own upgrades, which means that herO now gets the chance to play with his forges. And if herO can even up the upgrades, I feel like that is a massive thing, massive deal for him because, yeah, I think it's one of the big things that Ryung's got going his way. If he can EMP and just stim into this army with an upgrade lead, I still like it a lot for him in that regard. He's going to start moving out now. Obviously, this was Phoenix into Colossi, so we went Charge as the Twilight Council upgrade, so we don't have Blink. And obviously, as the Phoenix count's been lowered a little bit, maybe the Vikings would have been a bit able to kind of just expose the Colossi, but actually the Phoenix count was better than I thought it was. I thought more Phoenix had died. Well, 8 of them have died, just herO's been very good at replacing those Phoenix, so yeah, he's been very serious about that, I guess. Gonna start knocking down these rocks as Ryung knocks down these rocks. Both players opening up pathways on this map. herO decides to pull back. Naturally, he wants to become defensive here. He starts to try and line up a couple of disruptor shots to see what he can do. Marauder stimming to the front, and we will have Ryung investigating up this ramp. This disruptor shot has to go around the pylons, so gives the Bio a bit more of a chance to escape away. Disruptor fires in, doesn't connect, obviously. A little bit of work to be done there before connections can be made as make our way through that Nexus. Here we go. herO going to commit. He comes in from the top side as well. The Phoenix just dive in. They all go down low, and now there's nothing to protect the Colossi. One Colossus top right is just dead anyways. Oh my god, herO's army just melts to the force of Ryung. And is Ryung going to cause the upset? Now he might actually have the chance to. There's no Phoenix to punish lack of anti-air, although there's loads of anti-air anyway. Ryung is just pushing his tanks a bit further forward. He's getting some libs up to come in behind this as well. All of this setup continuing through here for Ryung as he's 30 army supply in the lead. Man, this fight was horrible for herO. It was not what he needed. I even have to go back and look at that again to see how badly it went, because that was not pretty at all. Bio continues through. Nexus taking some damage. Obviously, this is the fourth base, which Ryung now has a fourth of his own up and running, by the way. So I mentioned this game being a bit slower for him. Well, that's now changing. He kills off these 2 disruptors. Liberators will start a siege. Zelds are going to charge forward. Here we go. Zelds from the upper right. Disruptors and Archons from the bottom. And oh no, there's no way. Disruptors are dying before their shots even get close to connecting. And the Bioforce alone can probably close this out. A big disruptor shot does hit tank and Bio combined. We warp in Stalkers with their newly found Blink upgrade, but can they make the difference? No, they cannot. Ryung will eliminate herO. I want to look at this. I want to look at this fight again, man. This fight was ridiculous for Ryung. This fight was crazy. Like, the Phoenix just all like suicide in so quickly. And it's impressive how little they actually managed to do whilst dying so fast. You know, when the Phoenix dive in like this, you usually expect them to do very well, but look what happens. The first Widow Mine goes off, bang, and it didn't really splash at all. And then another, I mean, not even Widow Mine, just the Marines able to kill them while the Colossi are out of the way. The Disruptors basically hit nothing at all as well because the tanks took them down. Colossi get eliminated quickly as well. Now that's a solid fight from Ryung, really. Just really sick stuff. Couldn't have